And we're live. We're back. It's been a bit of a while because I've been sick for a while, hasn't it, Jax? We're back with another episode. Well, yeah. It's back with another episode of the Not Your Heroes podcast. And today's game in the background, if anyone doesn't recognise it, I am a little surprised and a little disappointed because, yeah, this was a shocking release this week. Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, it really did its thing.
It just came in out of nowhere. Hey guys, guess what? Oblivion.
It's Bethesda do these releases.
Well, no, actually they didn't, because Skyrim. You know, you were saying about the. We were discussing this before the other day when we were about this.
Yeah.
Skyrim had a massive marketing campaign, like over a year before it came out.
It's actual. But that was the marketing campaign. But its actual announcement date from when it was given a date to be released and it be released was like 3 days.
We're going through. If anyone doesn't recognise this lovely part of Oblivion's lovely lore, we're in the Shivering Isles. Because, let's be honest, we're kind of mad. I mean, this place makes no sense.
It does not.
But that's the whole point. Right between
it's really nice to see such an old piece of our gaming history.
Oh, I know.
In beautiful 4K.
4K, new graphics, new engine, new everything. It's just it's been playing at 1080p because I don't own a 4K monitor because I can't be fucking asked. Hello, big merman thing. God, it's so beautiful. I have spent far too much while playing this game just looking at the environments. I have noticed a lot of complaints. People going, they haven't fixed the combat and they didn't fix this, and it's like Bethesda even went in their like press statement about it when we didn't want to fix these stuff because these are the things that we know if we had, you'd complain about it because we fixed it.
It was going to be a complaint no matter what for some people. It really is.
Some people
I get it. There are
who start
a few janky bits in it I found, but that's fine.
Oh yeah, they kept all the jank that was in the original game. It's because so it's not just the Unreal Engine; it's the Unreal Engine and the Creation Engine combined. So it's the Unreal Engine is like the engine the game runs off, but the Creation Engine is where all the AI and a lot of like the programming stuff runs off. Is the actual normal background stuff. So it's kind of a neat fusion between the two.
One of the things I did rather like, and this is a graphical thing, as I was saying earlier, I'd like to play as Argonians.
Are you about the new models for Argonians?
No, not at all. What I was going to say is the swimming animation. At one point, something was going on behind me, so I sort of turned my vision around to look, and the animation of them sort of craning around and then swimming backwards to look was really, really good. Like, better than it needed to be good. And if something like that catches your eye,
welcome to my town.
For whatever reason, it means someone's done their job right, in my opinion.
Don't feel bad that you're not as gifted as me.
Oh yeah, it's just beautiful coming back. It makes me feel like a teenager again playing Oblivion, like just playing a game that I haven't played for years. This is one of those games that I genuinely came out when I was about. I've realised aging myself here when I was 12. Because it's 19 years ago.
And
it's just like, I played this game on release, or the original one on release, and it's so fun.
You there! Stay away from the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Let us handle this.
Why, Sheldon?
It is quite funny.
This should be easy.
Our time seems to fly.
The arrow did nothing.
I have no authority over where that landed.
No, crap. The arrow did nothing. I'm an archer. Because in Oblivion, original Oblivion, by the way, we were actually we were wrong, Jax. Being an archer in Oblivion sucked. The stealth archer build comes from Skyrim, not Oblivion.
I thought it was in one of the other games as well.
The stealth, no, like the actual stealth archer that we all know today comes from Oblivion, because not Oblivion, sorry, from Skyrim, because in Oblivion bows were shit. Like they were just shockingly bad. There was never a point to use a bow, because of the way the damage was worked out in original Oblivion. You know, my fatigue bar in this, as it's called, the stamina bar, basically. In original Oblivion, the stamina bar, how what your max stamina was, determined what your damage was.
Do your worst.
Oh.
Ends here.
More fearsome than you.
No.
Well, in other media news,
And fellas surround.
we've had a couple of other bits
He's
and bobs
pretty
be
scary,
released.
isn't? One leads to the lands of Mania,
Um,
and one to Dementia.
So yeah, we've had a release for a new Predator film,
Less dirty than
I know.
a new person wandering around.
which was very shocking. That came at a time that we weren't expecting.
I know, we were in the middle of recording a video at the time when it came out. Well, no, we just finished recording the video. I'd gone just to go do something. Came back and went, hey, Jax, go look at IGN now. Go watch the new Predator trailer. Wait, what? That just got like released.
Yes.
Yeah, so we watched it. It was very good. Interesting to see how this one plays out. It looks very. The Predator does look very different from what we've seen before, and there's a couple of weird clues as to what may or may not be happening.
Bye.
This ends here.
I'm just warming up, you pathetic worm.
I forgot how you get past this part.
Yeah, because like it's been a long time for all of us.
Nah. Why do I feel like I have to kill the adventurers?
You might have to kill something.
I'm on your side. I'm on your side.
They're bleeding all over the place.
I've got to stop watching you play, otherwise
Well-
I will.
Fewer syllables.
Yeah, new Predator movie announced. We have a Wayland Yutani android in the damn film, and Wayland Yutani crashed ship.
Yeah. So yeah, loads of speculation as about as to how this story is going to be pieced together. It'll be interesting to see it when it comes out.
Try not to stare.
My theory, me and you both have different theories as to what we're seeing. I think Wayland Yutani have created a human predator hybrid,
And I'm convinced it's a
and
young blood
escaped. You think it's a young blood?
that has basically dishonored itself, been outcast, got captured, and then crashed. I actually have a feeling the Wayland Yutani might be a complete, like might have no relation all to the Predator. It could just be the ship they've crashed there on the same planet the Predator, this young blood's been sent to.
Very true. Or it's a ship that he's stolen from somewhere and utilised.
Oh yeah. Well, in the opening scene, it looks like there's a predator ship, like a small one, like going across like the Badlands or something. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this movie is. It's like we've got Wayland Yutani, we have an android in it, which means we have a synth, which is immediately well, how's that for talking about for linking it possibly to Alien.
Oh yeah, I mean,
For instance,
it's definitely the
can
route
only
I
really
think
see
we're
the
going down.
bones when you take them out. You
In
can
all
hear them
honesty.
better than. I want him dead. I need him dead. His bone. If you're any good with a lockpick, we can help each other out. They say the gatekeeper's magical, and the best way to kill something
I mean, both franchises
the
would actually.
bones of a dead gatekeeper.
It just makes sense for
You'll
both.
pick that lock,
Yeah, for
and
those
I'll collect
franchises
the
to work like
bones.
that.
Then
Anyway,
here.
so
Yeah.
so talking about that, I say both franchises. We still haven't had a full release date on Alien Earth yet.
No, they love to. They are teasing this rat. Like, I have a feeling they're going the I'm going to say Bethesda route of they're going to tease it, and then go available now on just a random teaser.
Yeah.
And just go, it's here.
Uh,
A lot of people have pointed out that we're never going to see the Queen again until Disney kick Ridley away from the franchise, and I can agree. But I really want to see the Xenomorph Queens and shit again, because I'm going to be honest, Alien, as much as I think we've had this discussion before on this podcast probably, I think Alien is a better movie than Aliens, but I'm also one of those people that thinks Ridley Scott needs to kind of step away from the franchise because he keeps making it worse. Because
I'd say the last film did kind of good.
well, the last one did a good bit. Ridley was just the producer on it, not the director, and I think that's where he needs to stay. If you know what I mean, let him give them money for it, like contribute money towards it and shit. Don't give him a say in in actually writing it or the directing of it anymore, because I love the man. I've loved most movies he's made, but I don't think he's as
He's definitely got his own view of where he wanted the verse to go.
Yeah.
But then again, even he tried, or at least he tried to convert what was already available in the universe into something else, and it weren't the best.
No.
But Romulus,
Romulus to me, it was a nice
very
way
good.
of linking all the franchise together. It
Yeah,
took
I
little
mean, they
bits of
brought in
Prometheus, and it linked Prometheus and Covenant to the main franchise by introducing the black goo into the film. Into the actual main continuity.
Yep.
It linked to the first film with the fact that the xenomorph the first xenomorph we see in the movie that's dead, not alive. I'm saying that on purpose, that it's dead. That very first one we see is the xenomorph from the first film. The damn thing wasn't dead. It links it links all the way back to the Nostromo itself. So it does a lot of things right. It's like that face hugger scene. That when they're all like thawing and then dropping into the water is so cool.
Yeah, but then it also it then sort of brings you back to the way that they were sort of wanting to go with the alien gestation stuff
Should
from
we
the other
continue on?
films, in which
Follow me.
it started to convert the body.
Oh yeah. Well, they also officially made the name from like the RPGs and shit canon.
Yeah. So we've
Follow me.
yeah, I mean they did a lot. It did a lot to solidify where we are. It's what you kind of expect now. It's all under the Disney banner, and
Yeah. People
What's
give
weird-
Disney like shit because we hate Disney because they keep ruining shit, and I'm like, Disney isn't ruining shit. I think a lot of the issues I see with when people complain about Disney ruining stuff is I feel that they've not sort of gotten their thing that kind of Disney. Yeah, its live action films aren't doing too well, but at my opinion on live action films, I think it is that the reason Disney's generally been making these things is one, it'll make money for a decent amount of money for them usually, and two, it's for a new generation, not us.
also, the actual Alien franchise, the main story that we follow. Pardon me, coughing fit. Is a perfect quintessential Disney story. Tell me if you've heard this one before. A young, disenfranchised but powerful young woman that doesn't truly know how strong she is has to go up against an evil queen, prove her worth, and survive the day, and live happily ever after. Ripley is a Disney princess.
Oh yeah. So is the Xenomorph
And
Queen,
the Alien
remember?
Queen. The Xenomorph Queen is a quintessential Disney queen. Always trying to kill the princess.
Mm-hmm.
Prove me wrong. That's why the Alien franchise is perfect for Disney. Because it's telling the same story Disney always tell. Only Ripley is the same sort of Disney princess as someone like Mulan or the one from Brave.
Yeah. But also, what a lot of people they don't get is that Ripley's story is finished as well. Like, quintessentially, in my opinion, people go, "Oh, we could." Oh fuck.
Yes, no. Ripley, the whole timeline now of Ripley is done. We've even got the story of her daughter.
We've actually got a second game of her daughter finally coming.
Mm-hmm. But we know that stuff. Now, here is something that I normally wouldn't say, but it's time we could easily do this. I mean, personally, I don't want an Alien film without an Ellen Ripley, if I'm honest. And I do think it's a great time to start from the beginning again. It's one of the few franchises that could actually be fully rebooted and look wonderful, following exactly the same beats. Make the first one a proper horror movie, monster movie. Make the second one a bang out sci-fi film. Make the third one a Last Man Standing film. But improve them in the ways that they can be improved today. That's not make everything CGI. In fact, that's give the guy a fucking suit and CGI on top. But could you imagine a full CGI swarm for the second film? That'd be awesome.
It would, but I'm a firm believer of, in the case of Alien, it's a franchise that we don't need us.
Hello? What was that?
I know. And normally I would be completely in agreement with you, but like I said, I don't want to see an Alien film, to be honest, without a Ripley of some kind. I think that needs to be a thing. And normally I wouldn't give a shit, but yeah, it's one of the great kick-ass female characters, and it needs that story. And I don't say, to an extent, I guess it doesn't need to be someone called Ellen Ripley or Ripley name. It needs to always be a really hardcore, kick-ass, no-nonsense female hero.
To be fair, I liked the character from Romulus. I liked I've forgotten it. Like the initial say Romulus is one thing, is I forget the names of the characters, but the main sort of protagonist one of Romulus I genuinely liked, because that was a good, a cool story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was. It's just I will admit, unfortunately, I don't remember the names. I'm not gonna say they are memorable characters, but at the same time, I've only seen one movie with them in.
Yeah. Is it Rain? Her name was Rain. Or something. Rain or Storm. It was something wet.
Raina. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember Andy, the android. The dude that played the android has got a fucking career ahead of him.
Oh yeah, no, he's done quite a few bits as well, actually. What do I see him in? There was something I definitely have seen him in.
Do the bones.
Oh yeah.
The arrows are ready. Here are some for you. Let's go kill the Let's go.
I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't see anything on his list that I would have seen. If I'm honest, but yeah, I have seen him in a couple of things.
But yeah, you get what I mean. Like, it's excuse me. It's a good film. Like, to be fair, for me with character names, I forget character names all the time. Even in movies I generally like. The reason I remember Ripley is because I saw Ripley when I was a kid. It's a core memory as a child.
Yeah.
Watching Alien when I was 7 years old, which is probably why I have such a warped sense of humor and a warped sense of shit. Because I watched a horror movie that's like absolutely terrifying when I was 7, but made me have an appreciation for the finer things in life.
I know why. I know him.
Why?
Well, I know now that part of his thing is definitely missing, but he was in the
The
cast
gatekeeper is
series
slain.
unit.
The gatekeeper's dead. As soon as you get one of
You
those
remember
doors,
that?
As soon as you get those doors on, if you hear any bones,
Remember what? Sorry.
get me right away.
Unit, the Doctor Who podcast series spin-off about Unit. He was one of the corporals in that. Or what? Yeah.
So, you've managed
I do not remember that. I
one
never
leads to
watched
the
it
lands
or
of
listened to
mania,
it.
The other to dementia.
Oh, you
If
should.
either want,
It's actually,
you
it's
ought to
actually
seek out
quite
Lord
good.
Sheogorath. It is, of course, the capital of the Shivering
Anyway,
Isles. It is
once again, there is definitely
You'll
stuff
want
that's
to
on
speak
here
with
that's
him
not on here
soon,
because
as I
I've
believe he has
seen
plans for you.
him
It is
and stuff,
best not to make
and that's not popping up here.
The lands of Mania are bright, vibrant, and if you wish to meet the residents of Mania,
Anywho.
you'll though the citizens and creatures of Mania are color, the lands of Dementia. If you wish to meet Dementia
Yeah, so-
citizens, seek them out in Deep Wallow.
Where
or
was we with
Felmore.
that before we got
I'm sure they'll
interjected at
welcome
looking
one
at
such
actors'
as you
names?
with open arms. The doorways into the realm proper. You may
I keep pressing the console thing.
as
isn't
I've
it?
said, all choices have consequences.
What
All
else is
those
there? Oh, well,
enter the
there's,
realm are forever changed.
There's also been 2 new
You will
episodes
enter
of
soon,
Doctor Who
I
since
imagine,
we
through the gates
last
of
spoke.
madness,
Oh yeah,
and
the
it is
first
the
episode
realm
I
of
genuinely
Lord
enjoyed.
Sheogorath. It is
I
what he wills it to be.
I loved the
The
first
trees
episode.
bloom according to
The-
his
I
will,
actually loved
and
the
the
whole
wind
time
blows
thing,
at his
and
command.
we're getting a significant date again, and I've realised that the reason for that date is I think that's the date of the that's the
But I'm sure you'll
date of the end of the season.
No, it's actually the date of the penultimate episode. We actually have 1 episode after the 24th.
So we're getting basically a two-parter again at the end. A two-parter at the end again. I will admit, as you and I both know, my main issue with Russell T Davies versus like Moffat, and your Moffat for me personally.
Yeah.
For me personally, is I find Rusty Davis's like series end of his series a bit predictable. I will admit, this time round, probably due to experience from writing other shows, he seems to have gotten it better. Where I don't know what's gonna. I'm not so much predicting it as much, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I'm still worried that I'm still in that same like kind of worried mood in my head. Going, I am a little bit worried that the whole Mrs. Flood thing is going to be a little disappointing. But like, I don't think the Ruby Sunday thing was disappointing. I think it was for me, the Ruby Sunday thing from last season, for me wasn't disappointing. It was kind of that thing of not everyone is this super special person. It's just she's just a normal person at the end of it. You know what I mean?
I get it.
But I think the way they handled it was a little bad.
The way they wrote that story and the way they set it up, they made it so it looked like that everything, the most important thing, was being that moment and her, especially with the magical abilities. And then all of a sudden, none of that mattered. All she was doing was pointing at a sign for no reason as well. No reason, unless she knew time travel was going to be involved somewhere. It's so strange. It is just strange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I I did like the robot episode. I thought there was some really good sci-fi concepts in there. It kind of had a weird. The ending was a bit weird. Of how they got there. Yeah, I liked it. I know it's been mentioned online. It's become a bit of a meme at this point. But the unnecessary killing of the cat was freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
And like even the response to the robot is like, yeah, but it's inconsequent. It's just a cat. What do you want? If I killed your flatmate, I understand. It's just a cat. All sort of done in just one emoji on the face. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's straight up it's also. I did love them at the bit at the beginning with Mrs. Flood telling her going with like Mrs. talking to her and asking her for help, and then her just dropping the facade and going bye bye. It's just like, okay, this person's clearly messing with this villain is clear. See, I'm gonna say I have no idea who Mrs. Flood is.
Yeah.
But is it really bad? I want the Rani back, and I would love for that to be the reveal. But I have a feeling she's one of the other gods.
Well, now, I was thinking a god up until this last episode, because
Oh God, I forgot about them.
she was in the 60s. How? Unless she's got
A TARDIS.
time machine. Well, not necessarily a TARDIS, but a time machine. So, but yeah, it could be a TARDIS. So yes, she could be the Rani. She could be the Mobius Doctor. She could be the Master.
I don't think we'll get the
but
Master
then
this early. I think.
Here's the thing, I don't think it was going to be any of them solely because of the fourth wall break.
Oh yeah.
And that is the only thing that screams to me. It's one of the gods, one of the pantheon.
It's like you and me have a disagreement on the Lux ending. I think I understand that the whole point of it at the end of it is, well, not understand. It's that the Lux ending. I got the joke with the end of it. I think I get the joke with the end of it, whereas you think it's nonsensical a bit with it, of where he suddenly starts absorbing light and becomes so powerful. He's like, I am. But I think it's because I think the idea is that he's absorbed because he's becoming so big that he's encompassing all light at the end. He's realizing the light of creation, and sort of it's the same thing that technically turned Rusty back with Moffat's run. Good temporarily was the star being born, the light of creation. It was so beautiful. It's literally meant. I think it's meant to be like a callback to a little bit of a minor callback to that as well. Just going that seeing something so beautiful is enough to make most villains change their way. Make most villains who've never experienced it change. Oh fuck no! Why am I in this place?
But that fully worked up until the point where this Lux, was either already one of the pantheon of the gods, or was at least an aspect of one of them, as in a harbinger of one of them. That has now been given incredible power.
Oh yeah, it's God of Light. Well,
and that's what
I think Lux was the god. He's the God of Light. That is the God of Light. But if you pay attention, he can't absorb. It's not sunlight. He's also in the episode. They do base mention is that the same reason that we can drown, yet we're about 80% water, is too much of a good thing. Basically.
Well, so yeah, but I know, I completely understand that. I get that. Also, that Russell T Davies has done that line before with Moonlight in Tooth and Claw.
Yep.
When they kill the
werewolf.
Saw that today. I know that was putting that to me today.
We
the
fitted groove.
Oh, I get that. I get that. And if that's what they'd done, if they'd hit him with so much sunlight that they was like, yeah, he's now he's completely saturated amongst everything. There is nothing left. He became so big, he became nothing. He completely dispersed. I would have got that. But it was because he kept going into that line of, if he was maniacal, was like, I'm now all powerful. I'm and disintegrate. I'd have got that. But no, it was like, oh, I'm everything. I'm all powerful. I'm the light of creation. Ah. So that means, like, in my eyes, that makes him now more powerful than he was before. And kind of exactly like the
well, he wasn't saying I'm like he said I could see the light of creation.
So I don't understand. It just seems like they've made something more powerful, and that's going to come back and kick him in the arse.
Hey, when has that not happened?
I know exactly right, but yeah,
You are remembering Doctor Who Rule 101. Usually, the Doctor's plan comes round eventually and bites him in the arse.
And to be fair, if you think about it, they've got Alan Cummings to do that character's voice, and they spent a lot of money on that character.
I still got, and we're getting Alan Cummings. What is it, next year as well? And as an iconic role, and I'm so excited for it.
I've been rating. I have been going on about that way too much.
1 minute. Go away, stupid spider weird looking thing.
At least one of my friends, who's known me for a while, they had seen the whole list and was like, I bet you're happy, aren't you? I was like,
yeah.
A bit like cool, they're going to be in the same film. I am really freaking happy.
And that's probably not even the whole cast. Apparently, the current rumour going around is that Famke Johnson is in the movie, and so is Scarlet Witch, so is Elizabeth Olsen, and they're going to be fighting each other in a scene.
Well, if rumour is true, they're going to be doing another stunt exactly like they did with the chairs, but slightly differently, in about a month or two.
To be fair, Marvel is also, when Robert Downey Jr. made that tweet, when made the full on, they themselves made the joke, made the basic joke of, nope, that's not everyone, basically, because they went for now. Like, yeah, you're just admitting that it's.
I think it's very, very ominous that they haven't used any of the psychic characters, the hardcore psychic characters that we know of. Yeah.
I really want. Is it bad that I want one actor to be announced in it? One actor to be announced, and I'm not. Well, not bad. I just really want Oscar Isaacs to get announced.
Yeah.
And I don't care who he's going to be. I just want Oscar Isaac to be announced, because I will be like, either we'll get him Moon Knight, which is awesome, or we might get him redone in comic accurate costume as you know who, and I would be even more happy at that point.
I would assume, and this is just the thing, because of the way they are trying to keep things slightly connected in some ways. I think if we get Oscar Isaacs, it will be as Moon Knight, because they will do a fully animated CGI'd version of Apocalypse and have the guy who's voicing him in X-Men 97,
which is next year, season 2. That's going to be going to be so exciting for both of us again.
Yep.
Oh, and thankfully, I've not heard anything lately from our resident. I'm going to stir shit up person.
I think he's been given. I think things have happened in the background on that person, as in regards to shut up or you're going to be.
Shut up! I was suing you.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't put it past him at this point, because to be honest, the shit he's been doing is just like it's. Well, to be fair, remember the last time he opened his mouth is when they fucking went, you know what? Fuck it, we're revealing the reason you got fired. We were going to keep it quiet.
Yeah, and it also started to come down to the fact that normally, especially in a case like this, the other people, there are certain people in the workplace that don't say stuff, and it's usually the bosses. And I don't mean like the high ups. I mean the person that was just underneath him, but a boss of a load of people. They usually want to keep their stuff copacetic, and even they were coming out going, no, he was a problem in the workplace.
Yeah, we had no choice. We had to get rid of him.
There was a reason why his bosses had to get rid of him. And because he was quite, it was. I mean, especially as well.
I'm sorry, but the thing that pissed me off the most about it, right? Take it as someone from the LGBT plus community, right? As someone from the LGBT plus community.
I was just about to point this out.
The fucking fact that you went, it's because I shared this Cyclops gay thing, and that's why they totally fired me. And I'm like, no, there's Disney are smart enough to know that's not a reason that they won't not fire people for that, because Disney knows that a majority of their audience, which is why they're getting so much shit with, I think, Florida at the minute and shit, because they refuse to get rid of it, is that because the majority of their audience happens to be that our community a lot of the time, because a lot of us were the ones that grew up on Disney, that enjoyed Disney and stuff.
There is a lot of yes, no, and maybe to that. Disney, yes, a large number of their audience is from the LGBTQ plus community, but on the other side of that, as they do stuff to be very ally-ish, they're not the best.
They're not. We know they're not on our side. No corporation is.
No corporation is, but them in particular do a lot of for the amount of goodwill they get within the community. They are quite bad. But that being said,
Come over here. I have a proposition for you.
where were we going? Because I'm now stuck on the.
Come alone.
I was just going to loop myself now on reasons why they're really bad for the
Sickly
LGBTQ community.
Bernice. Well, it seems I'm dying.
Forgot our original argument.
Unless someone like yourself could. Oh well. Are you willing?
What were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about
Thank you so much.
actors for.
There's only
We
one
were
place
talking about
for
X-Men
all
'97 and a
eyes.
certain someone that kept fucking running his mouth.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. And we were talking about the reason why he and he was blaming those images. Right. So yes, no, and maybe on those things.
It's the mirror
So
reality.
Disney have had issues with their creators of some of their more popular characters,
Apparently.
then doing a back-end thing of creating those characters as porno characters in sexual things, and they've had to do legal stuff. This stuff all goes all the way back to like the early days as well, so like 50s and shit. So yes, I would see them having an issue there. Only problem is that Marvel has had a long history of doing underwear editions of their comic books and their characters.
I mean,
so it was
the very same year, Marvel did a swimsuit edition of a bunch of the Krakoa issues.
Yeah, swimsuit editions are what I'm talking about. These are they're common. They come out every
few years. Like, they did it. In the exact year he got fired. They did one.
Yeah,
with one that had Cyclops
in that
and
case,
Jean Grey on it as well. So
yeah, so like I say, so there is a little leeway there to that one, which we argue that they couldn't want. But they do. Disney definitely have morality clauses in their contracts, which means they might say, "Whoa, you can't do this." But it turns out it didn't. One of the things he did also blame for his firing was that he had a personal. He did use the morality clause as a excuse because he had a private or personal OnlyFans account.
Which he didn't post anything actual racy or shit on it. That's the thing.
No. It was all a watershed to try and get people over to his OnlyFans account after he had been fired. It was such a rug pull.
It's also, I'm sorry, but he was bad, Matt. It's also the fact that during the whole thing, he was constantly going, yeah, it's going to be shit because I'm not involved anymore. It was me that did all the major decisions, and I'm like, I very much doubt that. It was a team of writers that did everything. And I'm sorry, but there was way more than just your hand on making those plot lines. Those plot lines, you didn't come up with them. You basically ripped them from the comics.
Yeah, the one lesson you had learned, that he had learned, that none of the other people seem to have done properly to that point was, we love the stories we read. We don't really need them to be massively changed.
No.
The shock value. Adapt what we like, we will then like it again.
Yeah. The only thing they changed for the change in regards to change was they made Bastion an actual character rather than just this guy
Just
that
a bit at the end.
a bit that does some stuff and then disappears and is barely ever seen again. They made Bastion an actual proper character, which was
I love Operation Zero Tolerance. Me and you both love Operation Zero Tolerance. There is so much there in that storyline that we enjoy. But we've talked about this before. In all honesty, the comic book version is a Bobby Drake story with Marrow, and it's their adventure going up until the end. Because in the actual books, the X-Men are doing some other shit.
The only significant thing that happens in there literally is. The only significant thing apart it is it's the comic where Jubilee gets kidnapped.
So they've got other stuff going on, and so nearly like 80% of Operation Zero Tolerance is Bobby Drake and Marrow going around kicking the shit out of Sentinels and trying to hide from Sentinels until they get to Bastion and do their stuff with him, and then the X-Men get involved towards the end.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then when the X-Men get involved, it ends in basically about 2 or 3 issues. It's really short.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think the actual resolution of it is like 4 or 5 pages, and then most of it is them dealing with the fact that they've got a new character, Marrow, and Wolverine's got a trainer, and Bobby Drake's back, and he's got all these new powers and abilities.
And he's now an Omega level mutant rather than not an Omega level mutant.
Yeah. And they've got this doctor that can create force fields. Who didn't know she was a mutant before. That's it, because it also then leads into they bring in that's when they also then bring in on the other side Maggot and Joseph, and Joseph is the Magneto, but he doesn't know he's Magneto, and he's a bit younger.
Oh yeah,
he's a good guy for a bit.
And then there's also when they bring in it's also, let's be honest as well, in regards to it.
Literally those last few books get taken up with that.
Yeah, it's not just that, it's also, if I remember, Operation Zero Tolerance takes place after, if I remember correctly, it takes place after the Genosha incident as well. It's a post-Genosha thing, if I remember correctly, in the comics.
That I honestly don't.
I can't remember. But also,
don't remember.
The only thing they mainly changed with it was they made the whole Genosha thing, instead of it being Cassandra Nova and trying Cassandra Nova and being trying to get revenge on her brother by ending it. But I did love how they actually put the comic. They basically got the comic bit panel for panel with some slight changes. Because to keep continuity with the last episode of when Charles tries to use Cerebro and seeing what's happening, and and the whole, where he's like, they were just frolicking and, everything when they're all dying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love it because they got that panel right, and they did it in the show as having him just suddenly, he's trying to teach the Shi'ar how to be.
Speak quickly, mortal.
Yeah.
It's trying to show that the humans can be peaceful and how advanced we are.
And then,
all the
bang!
You know what? No, fuck it.
I have to go home. It's why? Because holy crap! It's like that episode was just it was an episode that basically killed that I think broke both of our hearts in that episode. Remy?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I can't feel you.
I mean, on every single level as well. There was. I mean, yes, there was. Gambit was the biggest hit by far. But actually, we saw a shit ton of characters get decimated there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really realise the sheer number of characters that we know from either the films or the animated series or the comic books that have actually just gone in that.
It's also.
You really need to
I also will admit the penultimate episode. Hearing Valerie, the doctor. when she's doing the whole speech. Like, I'd seen this before, and it's just we're numb to it and everything, and it's all the like just having that speech, and it's just to realize what we always should have realized. Magneto was right. Just like
that was once again. It was great in the comic books.
yeah,
Actually having it said out loud. But not only said out loud at a point where even as a viewer, as someone who's watched this, and we all know who the bad guy is.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all sitting there just like the characters waiting for Magneto to turn bad again. He's only good for he's only turning heel for a small amount of time, or heel turn soon.
Oh yeah.
And then right, and then you go, yeah.
It's the scariest thing about it is also, I think the thing that makes that scene also impact even better, is it's a human that says it. It's not a mutant; it's a human that says it. That he's always been right. It's like it's X-Men 2 or X-Men 3. I can't remember which one it is. Where Ian McKellen as Magneto says the thing is like they're not talking about extermination, and then he goes, "They never talk about extermination. They just do it."
Yeah,
it's like, yep, it's the truth. Nobody ever talks about extermination. They just do it.
Yeah, I think that's the second one because that's the one with the cure.
Yeah. No, the third one's the one with the cure. Last Stand. Because it's the one where, you know, Mystique gets shot and he's like, and she loses her powers and then turns on him.
Oh, maybe.
X-Men 2 is the...
You're right, X-Men 2 is, yes, you're right, yeah. It's where Stryker...
It's Stryker.
Come in, and that is the same line, yeah, she's starting to collect people.
Yeah. X-Men 2 is the one where it's them versus Stryker dealing with
that's basically
Wolverines.
Well, X-Men 2 is basically Wolverine movie, in which the other actors are involved.
Yeah. As I am very vocal about, I dislike the only thing I dislike about the X movies, as much as I love them, because none of the actors in those movies, I think they pick. They're just Wolverine films, and I hate it because Wolverine has never been the main X-Men character. Like prior to those films, he was just one of the side characters. And most of the time, he had his own comics, but he was in the team thing. He wasn't the main character. On his own, he was
never the main character. So here's the problem: he was never the main. He was never the lead. He was never the top guy. That was always pretty much top. It is a massive buck. Wolverine was the GOAT character. It didn't matter what issue he was appearing in. If he was appearing in Howard the Duck would get the best numbers Howard the Duck had ever had.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad character, but it's more that.
Although written, no. I mean, I say although not written as the main character, or the leader of the group, he was always considered like he was always the second in those sort of things. He'd always take Group B or Gold or whatever one it was.
Gold team.
Gold team. Which is kind of what you need. He's the Raphael to his Scott's Leonardo. But he was the draw for the X-Men comics. I mean, money-wise, he was the guy, and that's why he had. Yeah, that's why he was in his own comic book was just as successful. That's why he was being spun. He was being put into everything. No one gave a shit about Alpha Flight until you find out, oh, he was in Alpha Flight. Oh, we might get an Alpha Flight Wolverine story. Oh, we did. So you know, it's that kind of effect. He was the man. Literally only to be rivaled at that time with Spider-Man in the comic books.
Oh yeah, Wolverine's a very popular character, but it's my main issue is that X-Men's always meant to be a team thing, and those movies were just Wolverine and these background characters. The rest of the main cast became background characters in their own movie, and it was. And I'm sorry, but I get why Fox did it, because Wolverine is, and I will admit, an amazing character. He's popular. I love Wolverine mostly, but we both know my two favourite X-Men characters are Rogue and Storm.
Yeah. But that was the problem with Hugh Jackman. So here's the thing: that first X-Men film was a proper ensemble movie.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for you.
And it could have easily at that point stayed that way if everyone
I need a
on
champion,
screen
and you've
had
got the job.
had
Time
equal
to save the realm.
had equal
Rescue the
power within
damsel.
their characters, and
Slay
by that
the
means
beast.
had actually become the character that we'd all know and love. Because
Your help is
only,
required.
in my opinion, only
A
4
change
people
is
did that.
coming.
Four and a half
Everything
people did that in
changes.
that film.
Even
That first one.
Daedric Princes.
That was Patrick Stewart. That was Ian McKellen.
Daedric Princes.
That was Hugh Jackman. That was Scott
James.
Avery?
James.
James.
Yeah. No,
James Scott.
James. It's James Marsden.
James Marsden. Fuck me. Who am I thinking of? Doesn't matter. And I can't remember the other guy's name.
And you forgot Rebecca Romanje, because I will admit she fully embraced
I can't
Mystique.
remember her name.
Grey March
Couldn't
is
remember her
coming.
name, but Mystique. Because Anna Paquin wasn't. Although Anna Paquin was a good version of Rogue, it wasn't the Rogue we all know and love yet.
It's, to be fair, I think it's rewatching those movies, because I've recently rewatched X-Men 1, X-Men 2, and
Yeah.
X-Men 3, because I decided I want to watch them because of the announcement. I was like, I'm watching X-Men again. And I will admit, my original criticisms of Rogue in those 3 films are a little harsh, and realising it's because I'm used to Rogue from the animated show and from the comics, who's actually
many years into the story.
yeah, and this is Rogue at the start of her story but I will also admit, I now knowing, like, having read lots of the comics and knowing Rogue's actual backstory in the comics, it kind of annoys me. It annoys me a bit, not at her, but at Fox for changing her backstory, if you get what I mean, and having her not fall in with the crowd that she falls in with originally, and being a bad guy to start with before she joins the X-Men. Because that's
It would
part
have
of
made more sense that they had to save her from them because she's working with them.
Yeah.
Not because, 100%. 100%. And Magneto is showing her how powerful she can be by letting her sap his and other mutants' powers.
Yeah.
Because then that also then shows that he doesn't actually give a fuck about mutants. He gives a fuck about being in charge of mutants.
You're going to Zedilian, one of my favorite spots
That would
in
have,
the
you're
island.
right, that would have been better. That's why the Road Cut, honestly, is the better version of
Gatekeeper takes care of most of
Days
the
of Future
unwanted.
Past.
Anyway, there are those that have other ways into my realm. So,
but
you're
yeah.
going to get Zedilian up and running.
Like I say, so that first film, if they had all played their characters to this equal extent, you would have had, the second film would have been a bigger ensemble film, especially with what they had. And they tried to bring in the second class of X-Men fully.
You can go now. Run along. Scoot.
In the meantime, Hugh Jackman became the biggest
star of
thing
those movies.
in Hollywood. I mean, I don't think people don't understand. After that first film, he went from being a guy on stage to being a guy, because him and Halle Berry became huge off of the back of X-Men.
Yeah.
They were paid.
Well, she was
stupid money
Catwoman
to
as
be
well, and
poor.
afterwards.
That was a lot later on. That was kind of the tipping point of her career. But like Swordfish, the amount of money they were paid for Swordfish alone, and to do that within the time frame of the films that they're already doing, was crazy. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing their faces on stuff. And I mean, Hugh Jackman wrote it, and he honestly just learnt the character. He knew the character, and he just embodied it.
Oh yeah.
The same with, and it's the same with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Yeah, it's a reason why. As much as, like, I think we both know my only criticism of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, we both know my only criticism is his height, and that's not something he can change. Everything else, he is Logan.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons. Like, both me and you both enjoyed the Short King in Deadpool Wolverine.
Even though the Short King was
nice.
actually smaller than he should have been, but it was hilarious still.
Here's the thing: it does show you something that because of in real life perspective, no one's actually going to want that live action. In all honesty.
No.
It
The,
won't look
the only
right.
person that
It
could
will
pull it
look
off
like
and
a
we'd
joke.
all be happy with it is Danny DeVito.
So true, but everyone knows if Danny DeVito is going to play a hero, he should play the trash man.
Yeah, Shush Man!
Actually, there is one character I think Danny DeVito could play in a film, and literally Warner Brothers need to have balls the size of moons to make this movie. It's called 8-Pack.
Speak quickly, Mortal.
And it's a DC superhero team that live in Gotham, or work in Gotham. 8-Pack can himself, he can only
New
do
Sheoth is
his,
the capital of the Shivering
I
Isles.
think that's his name.
We Oriole
I
guard
know that's the name of the group.
Manic district
He
of the
can only
city.
use his powers when he's completely drunk.
Sheogoran rules the Shivering Isles. We, the
But the
Oriole,
character that Danny DeVito could play
domain of
is
the Prince of
possibly the
Madness.
weirdest. He's called the
go.
Dog Welder.
Oh, no, not the guy that welds dogs to people.
Speak quickly, mortal.
Yeah,
I'm going to wheel a dog to your
he's a
face. No,
homeless guy
stop it.
that welds dead dogs to the criminals of Gotham City.
The funny thing is, the minute you said that, I'm like, I know exactly who that character is, and I'm like 100% picturing that character as Danny DeVito now, and actually going, yeah, do it, we need this.
Even better, because this film can be made right now with DC, because James Gunn can make it, because there is a character within that group as well that can be played by Nathan Fillion. So definitely a James Gunn project. There is a character in it called Friendly Fire, who is the most powerful character on the team. He can actually fire energy blasts so powerful that he can rip a hole through Captain Universe. No problem.
What?
No matter the harder he concentrates on the target he's trying to aim at, the more likely he is to miss
Speak
and hit one of his own people. Basically, he's me with Fireball, right?
Jax,
there
there's only one problem with that analogy there.
Yeah.
You don't try and hit the enemy with Fireball, you try and hit your teammates.
No, I hit a room with Fireball and anything within the room with Fireball, and if my teammates haven't learned not to be in the room with the things I'm going to hit with a Fireball, that is the team's problem.
I think
But
that's
yeah,
his
no,
problem.
Friendly Fire does end up dying in a great issue in which one of his teammates has been captured and they've got, I think it's a knife to their throat, and he has to concentrate, and he concentrates hard and hard, and he fires his beam out. But just as he does that, he trips over and he rests his chin on his fist as the energy blast comes out and blows his head off. And that's who Nathan Fillion should play.
Yeah, but he's already playing Guy Gardner.
Doesn't matter, he can play multiple characters. That's how good Nathan Fillion is.
It's true. Nathan Fillion could play everyone in the universe, and we would let. He could play every character in DC, and it would just be different. Nathan
That would be
Fillion's.
a funny elsewhere story. I don't care who says it.
Do it.
Nathan Fillion verse in which every character in it is Nathan Fillion, and you just see the Justice League at the table with Hulk Girl, Superwoman, Wonder Woman, Batman. Like that, I would, and it has to be. It can't be AI. It has to be Jason Statham in that costume.
Just green
doing
screening
the
all
voice.
of the rooms so that they're all green screen it so that each to put them all together. It's just like, oh, that actually no, yeah. I'm all for this because it would not only be hilarious.
How would you not watch that as a one of the best superhero comedy films ever? But they have to make it. They can't make it a comedy. They have to make it serious.
It has to be super serious, but it's like no, it's just every character has to be super serious, but it's a comedy. That's the running joke. It has to be every character super serious, but the film is actually just it's unintentionally funny.
It's a proper Justice League script, but just Nathan Fillion is every single actor. He's the villain. He's the hero. He's the mum making brownies in the shop next door. Everything. If they have to run from a big kaiju attack, every one of those people running is
Nathan Fillion.
I would watch that film 3 times. because that would be the funniest.
I've really realised the funniest part of that could be. You make it an Elseworld story. You make it so we have the new Justice League made up of the new actors there with Guy Gardner there, and it's like, what the fuck does everyone look like me for? It's just having Guy Gardner having a breakdown in the movie because everyone looks like him.
What would be funny though is if they cut to a character sitting there watching an episode of Rookie in which every character in the Rookie is Nathan Fillion, except for Nathan Fillion's character. And I don't know who the fuck you'd get. You'd get Wesley Snipes or something. You'd get just anyone.
No. It's a James Gunn movie. Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke. Yeah.
Is it Mickey Rourke? Not Mickey Rourke. The other one. Mickey Rourke's the cunt.
I know who you mean.
The one who played Yondu. That's what I can't remember his name. Yeah, it's just him. But it's Woody Harrelson. That's it.
No, it's not Woody Harrelson.
No, Woody Harrelson's the other one. They look the same. That's the problem. His name's Mick.
Yeah, no,
I know his name's Mick. I just can't remember his surname.
I know who you mean. Give me a second. I will find it.
But it would be hilarious just having him, because it has to be the two actors that James Gunn works with the most. It's just like, what the hell?
How may I serve?
Yeah, so no, I mean, I would.
Actually, no. I've just realised who the better actor instead of him would be. It would be as the Nathan Fillion character.
Blessings, citizen.
Nick Cage. It's just Nicolas Cage randomly in the movie.
See, I want it to. For me, it has to be someone completely arse different from. That has to be that would be the joke. Michael Rooker.
That's it.
How may I serve?
To be fair, the perfect person is sitting on the same page.
Who?
Next to. It should be Karen Gillian.
Who's that one again?
Just doing Karen Gillian.
Oh, Karen Gillian.
Yeah, just have her just playing just as Nathan Fillion would play his character, just as a dude, everything.
It's just like...
It would, because I've seen her do an impression of him, and it's quite funny.
To be fair, it is the perfect combo of just what the hell. Just everyone is Nathan Fillion, and then just the random ginger lady.
I would just go watch that film.
I think a lot of people watch him. It's Nathan Fillion. I can watch him in anything. I love him. Legit.
I still think Ryan Reynolds' idea of releasing, just making a really good comic book film undercover as much as you can, and then releasing it under a different name for a week, is a genius idea, and that would be a great thing to do. Just make an underground fucking Justice League movie or whatever movie with Nathan Fillion, release it under, I don't know, Cabbage Patch Kids 2, Revenge. People go, what the fuck is that? Why has that got a global release? Oh shit, what the fuck is this?
What I will say about it though is that would be hilarious about it all. Having about Nathan Fillion. We've just started fanning about Nathan Fillion in the middle of this conversation because it's like it's Nathan Fillion. Like I remember seeing him first time I ever saw him in anything was Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes, that is the first time at least I remember him
as Caleb, and it's just that villain was genuinely terrifying. From the minute he shows up, he's just genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that was.
What I mean with that is that the dude has range. Like he can play super serious characters. He can play, comedy characters. He can play like a lot of different range. Nathan Fillion is a really good actor. So Oh yeah, we had Nathan Fillion a film with just everyone played by Nathan Fillion. You know, every character would be played like completely different from each other. That it would be believable that it's just a different actor dressed as Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, that's it. And if you know who Nathan Fillion, if you know Nathan Fillion's body of work, you'll know that that's Rookie, and you know that that's been piss takeout. If you don't, you don't. You just think, why the fuck is there a ginger woman on that? Why is everyone else Nathan Fillion and that one person not? It'll be, yeah, no. So
no, you know what would be so no, you've got everyone as Nathan Fillion. You've got to really what they need to do, right? Would have to have everyone. If they did the Justice League and you have Martian Manhunter and Superman there, I kind of feel like they're the only two characters, right? Because the rest of them are all born on Earth in some form or nothing. Yeah, right? Yeah. The only two characters that shouldn't be Nathan Fillion should be the two aliens. Just as the running joke of the fact that it's just everyone on Earth is Nathan Fillion.
Actually, that would be funny.
Because it's
the
just like
aliens would have to look identical.
They would, yeah. All Martians would look exactly like the same person. It's just like, what the fuck is this world? Why does everyone on every planet have the exact same face? I don't
know. Yeah. So I will say, one of the things that he was in before that I actually felt I didn't watch until after, which was Two Girls, a Guy in a Pizza Place, because that had Ryan Reynolds in it, and I remember that was where I first remember seeing who Ryan Reynolds was. And
so yeah, for me, Ryan Reynolds, the first thing I ever saw him in, Van Wilder.
Ah, okay, cool. I saw. I can't remember what it was. I can look it up for now.
And I just found that hilarious. It's felt that I watched Van Wilder and was like, this guy is kind of funny, but this kind of reminds me of American Pie. And then later down the line, I'm like, and then when I watched, X-Men Origins Wolverine, finally, when this guy kind of feels like Deadpool, like. And then when we finally got the Deadpool movie, I was like, yeah, this guy was the perfect casting.
Well, so I think I've told you this before. Let me just get where am I looking here? What was the name of this fucking film? It wasn't Harold and Kumar, it wasn't Van Wilder, it was it after Van Wilder?
Don't know.
Wait, yes, it was a few years later. It's called Waiting. So I'd seen at this point I'd seen I think Blade Trinity and Three Girls, Guy in a Pizza Place, but I hadn't really worked out he was a funny guy yet until a film called Wait, and they were trying to basically take the place of the Kevin Smith stories. There was a group of them getting together. They never really stayed together as a whole, which was the big thing. But weirdly enough, it was before Blade Trinity. On something, it weren't the Harold and Kumar Get the Munchies. It must have been around Van Wilder time then. Where he actually is in an interview, or it's on the commentaries or something, where he's talking about how Deadpool is his favourite comic book character and he wants to play Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this being a thing because I was still in secondary school. So it has to have been around there. Or I was in college, it was around that time. So years. And then when he was in Blade Trinity and he had to be fair, it was like,
to be fair,
it was like, yeah.
That was just after Fox had acquired the licenses and stuff, and Fox had the other.
Yeah,
for the other.
He was a no one back then. To be fair, he wasn't who he is until until Deadpool.
I know now, now he's kind of like Pedro Pascal a little bit. Guy everywhere, people, it's everywhere, and it's like it's because they're really good actors and they bring in crowds. That's why you're seeing them in every movie. I can understand why people get annoyed and a bit sick of seeing the same actors over and over again, but it's like they bring in like the crowds. That's why they're being used and picked.
Yes, they do. The other thing to point out, though, is especially with people like Ryan Reynolds and Vin Diesel, and even Dwayne Johnson, these are people that not only do bring in money, so movie companies will back them to an extent. They're also putting a lot of their money into characters and IPs that they can run for quite a long time with. The reason Vin Diesel's in a shit ton of films is not because a ton of movie companies are chasing him for stuff. It's because he found 2 or 3 IPs that are absolutely perfect for him, and he's pumping his own money into them to get money back.
He makes a Riddick movie every so often because he just enjoys playing the character.
Yeah, the Riddick films don't make as much money as the
Fast and
Reno
Furious
films, so he makes those films. He makes more of those films.
Yeah.
I hope he does come back to Riddick as a passion project. I hope he comes back to Xander Cage as a passion project.
I don't know what is happening with, for example, in video games with Arc 2, because Arc 2 currently I think is on hold. I don't think it's actually happening anymore. I'm not sure. But in terms of Arc 2, the reason he's playing Santiago in it is not because the studio went, we want, Vin Diesel. It's because he went, I'll fund your second game if I get to play that character.
Yeah.
And that's why they cast him as it, because he was like, I'll happily give you money to let me play the character. And I was like, and I'm all for that.
So that's why. So in cases of certain people like that, that's why you're seeing them everywhere. Once Ryan Reynolds got the ability to become a producer and backer of stuff, he did. But you know what he also did? He put himself in the best things, because that increases his profile as well. So yeah, you are seeing these people in more stuff. That's because they can put themselves in more stuff. They can put themselves in passion projects and fun projects. It's a good thing to actually start seeing, because it's something you haven't seen in a long time, to be fair, in Hollywood. I mean, you saw the likes of, in weird ways, what you saw was people like Johnny Depp. You do a big Hollywood movie so you can go back over to France and do 6 Independence. Whereas in these guys' cases, they're going, let's not make Independence or cut the budget. Let's get the budget.
Let's just get the budget and fund it ourselves, because we've got the money to do it.
Yeah. And it's a bunch of, seems to be these cooler guys doing it.
That thing doesn't seem hostile. Oh. Okay, I forget. I am sorry, but they've improved the bullywog and all that. It's all that's going through my head right now looking at this thing. Do you remember a movie called The Cabin in the Woods?
Yes, I love that movie. I recently showed it to my eldest. The
deconstruction of horror movies based. The one that you could reasonably believe that this is actually how all horror movies work. It's kind of funny.
Yep.
But that reminds me of the merman from it now. From the end of it.
Yeah.
Also, mermen are messy.
They are very messy.
I love that we finally see it at the end of the film.
No, I absolutely love that film. Once again, it's a fantastic film
for horror fans.
It is made 1,000 times better, by the introduction of just one person. So we can go full circle on this podcast. Sigourney Weaver.
Not just to go. Oh yeah, it's also what a lot of people might not know is that film is where a certain actor that is now very famous kind of got his start and wasn't like a very well known actor at the time.
Wasn't a very well known actor. Wasn't known for doing comedy. In a straight role. If you don't understand that terminology, it doesn't mean he was heterosexual. It means although it is a comedy film, a comedy role, he plays it as a completely comedy role.
Well, it's also, you pay attention to it, is all the characters in it at the start of the film, before you get to the cabin, are actually like really intelligent. They're the opposite of all horror movie tropes. They're all like,
they slowly become in the property. It's
I
very
love it
funny
because it explains why you get all these random scenes in these movies like this. It's like, yeah, because
it mentioned the actor's name. Chris Hemsworth is the young actor.
Yeah, it's so fun to see. It's why I love that movie. I love that movie because, one, I get to see Sigourney Weaver in it, and I love anything that has Sigourney Weaver in it. I will watch because I am. It's like Nicolas Cage and it's like Keanu Reeves. If any one of those three actors are in a film, I will watch the film without fail. I don't care how shit the film is. I'll watch it.
Yeah, I mean,
Nicolas Cage, because we know it's going to be you're in for like a batshit crazy time. Sigourney Weaver is because that's the person that was like one of the first heroes in like a movie that I genuinely just connected with. And that, for example. And Keanu Reeves, because just Keanu Reeves is like, every time I've ever seen an interview, every time I've ever like heard anything from him, he's just the most humble fucker in the world. And like actually hearing like, his like his actual, like his childhood and everything. And I'm like, I understand why he is so
tragic. His life story in total is tragic.
Yeah, and I'm like, I understand why he's so nice and why he's like, he just lived in like a small apartment in New York. He didn't even live in like a massive mansion like most movie stars do. He's like, nope, he lives as frugal as possible because he doesn't see the point. And it's like, and I understand why, because of everything that's happened. He's like, there are people worse off than me. I'd rather help them out than myself. And I'm like, this dude is just.
He's got his music collection. He's got his film collection. He's got his comic book collection. He's just happy with his little bits in life. He does seem to be just a cool guy. And the way he can just seem to charge a room full of energy is very interesting.
I know.
He's someone I would like to meet.
He's someone I would love to meet. Also, plus, as someone who grew up and loved the movie Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bogus Adventure, and the latest one. I forget the name of the latest one.
Yeah.
But I love all three. Like, the latest one is not as good as the original two. Don't get me wrong. I won't say it is, but I do love it because it's not.
I enjoyed it.
It's not as good, but I'm still gonna love it because it was the same sort of humor years later.
Yeah, I mean the biggest problem of it all, I think, for me, is that that was although it's Bill and Ted, it was actually Bill, Ted, and Rufus.
Oh yeah.
And not having George Cullen there was
harsh.
I love the actress that plays his daughter in it. I think she's fantastic. It did great on me a little bit within this film. But you know what? I enjoyed it. You know what? I'll say this honestly. I enjoyed this more than the second film because I don't really like Bogus Adventure that much.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot because it was one of those films that for me, it's one of those films that's just like, it felt like this movie wasn't made to have some super serious plot or some super, be like most films are. It was just made, here's a movie to make you feel good, to kind of give you some feel good vibes. Yes. That was it.
Yes, it was. And it didn't try and pretend to be a movie that wanted to change the world. It just wanted to be a movie that gave you a good couple of hours. And it completely succeeded in that, and it succeeded in that more than once in my case. I love Prison, Bill and Ted. I think they were freaking hilarious. And it was, it was a great dig at the multiverse shit. And time travel tropes.
Oh yeah.
It's also one of those things where I think it would be funny if there was a way in one of the. I mean, I know it can't be because of ownership, but yeah, that is one of the shows that does movies that does need a Doctor Who reference, where they meet somewhere in the timeline.
Oh yeah, it was a.
Oh.
I,
Well, and the funny joke in there as well would be that the Doctor gets into the telephone box. He's like, "Oh, it's actually smaller on the inside,
yeah.
a lot smaller than it looks." But yeah, I absolutely say yeah. I mean, that was one of the more better modern day sequel. I mean, it wasn't a reboot; it was actually a sequel, which was nice.
Oh yeah, it was a sequel, and it was.
Although I did kind of hope it was going to be, it needed to be just a bit more popular than it was, because there was a sequel planned that I don't think we're going to get now, which was going to then be a bit more about the daughters and Bill and Ted taking the daughters on a proper time adventure.
Oh yeah. Well, to be fair, the eventual
thing
thing of what's going to happen with that franchise would have been, for me, is them passing the torch onto it. From that torch on, because which would it would anger the, let's be honest, it'll anger the fucking pathetic people that get upset about them. I'm like, you can't. I have this. My brain goes. Like, you get this with me with comic book movies. I don't remember
anyone complaining too much about that, actually, at the time.
At the time, no, but if that movie came out now, we know that they complain about it. It's like, very much, example, this game that we're playing right now is a 19-year-old game, and they just recreated it in a new engine. It's the same game we used to play when I played 19 years ago. Like, nothing. The only things that feel different is they've improved combat a bit. They've improved some stuff, but it's still the same game in essence, right? And this game is getting called woke today. Like, nothing has changed. It's the same story. All they did was go, okay, we're just gonna use body type 8, 1, and 2 rather, and remove. All they did was they changed what was in the original game. Was depending on your gender, when you were for each race, you got a different bonus. In the original Oblivion, all they did was change that to an origin, and then went body type 1 or 2, because it's
and it's like, to the extent when me and you, we are big character creators. We love a bit of character creation, and I know full well I flicked between the two up there more than once. I did not notice that was. I didn't notice.
No, I didn't notice it until I actually looked in the Steam forums, and there's like about 16 topics made on the same thing going. They must have glitched it. It's a bug where it says body type and instead of this, and I'm like, what the hell? Why are people complaining about this? It's a non-issue.
Not only is it a non-issue. How much did you decide not to enjoy this game? That your biggest issue that you've had so far. You obviously haven't got anywhere else past this game, because the biggest issue you've got is that it doesn't say male or female, it says 1 or 2.
I know. To me, it's just like,
I can tell you now, I've got issues. I'm loving this game. I've got issues with it already. Not done much. I've got issues with it already.
My main issue is I played this game for 20 hours now. I have crashed once in 18 hours, and so it's running more stable than most games I played on the day of release.
Yeah, and do you know what as well? Because I'm a Game Pass holder, I've got it free day of release.
Yeah, I bought this game. I have Game Pass, but I could have played it for free. But I think we both know the only reason I bought this game is it's Oblivion, and I'm like, I wanted it. I'd rather.
I completely understand that. I've looked at the extra features, and yeah, this is a game for me that is once I've got some money to actually buy it for £50, worth a buy.
Yeah. And I mean, they've improved my favourite thing. They've improved my not favourite playstyle, because honestly, I play Skyrim a lot. Right? I go back. I play Skyrim a lot. I don't play Stealth Archer. I genuinely either play two-handed weapons, warrior, with two-handed weapons, or I play a magic user, which is why when I play a magic user, I tend to have the game modded, because default Elder Scrolls games, magic in Skyrim is kind of shit, even when you level it up max. Like, it's one of my main issues with Elder Scrolls games.
Oh, I disagree. It doesn't matter, but yeah, I do disagree. I think there's a couple of really nice builds there, especially with some of the armor mods that make you an absolute fucking god.
Oh no, but what I was about is that I normally don't use the bow and arrow in, like, you know, Skyrim. Because I don't... Because stealth archer, yeah, it's cool, but I find it a bit boring to just be stealthy, shoot everyone. So I prefer to be, you know, I like the actual fighting combat. But I'm being an archer in this because I remember in Oblivion, when I tried to use a bow in Oblivion the first time, I think that's what put me off being an archer in Skyrim. Because a bow in Oblivion, the original, was shit. Like, it was so bad. Because the way the skill system worked then is you got better at aiming as you leveled up the marksman skill. So like starting off with a bow was so bad in Oblivion, whereas now they've made it instead it's different. They've changed a lot of the bonuses around for combat. But also I remember in Oblivion, because you could level up every skill, but only your class skills leveled you up. You could break Oblivion. You used to be able to break Oblivion. Because you could level up all your non-class skills, you know what I mean, to like max level, and you'd still be level 1. So you could be like, you know, running an area with like the best sword and being able to smack someone to death with, you know, your sword and shit. But you're only level 1 because the sword's not your class skill.
Yeah.
They've now made it so that every skill levels you up. It's just your class skills level you up faster, which I like because it means now It means I don't, you know, not level up from training my athletics, which isn't a class skill for me. Acrobatics is.
So I've got to interject you slightly here. I was just quickly checking something on my phone, and YouTube was open. Just 'cause I was checking stuff before writing this, and I looked, and it said, "What in Oblivion is that?" And it's someone playing playing Oblivion with 97 people watching. I was like, shit, is that us? It's not, it's skill check. We've just got one.
We've only got one. Probably Beth.
It's probably not at the minute. The stuff, she's busy. But yeah, no.
But yeah. Oh yeah, we're full well. It's this game is fun. I'm enjoying this game. This game is really fun. I have noticed, by the way, with a lot of our podcasts, I will say this: we don't get the views while we're live. A lot of our earlier podcasts have more views a couple of weeks down the line after they've aired.
Oh yeah, we're a creeper.
Yeah, but we're not doing this for views anyway. We're not really doing this for being popular anyway. We're just doing this because it's fun. We do this because it's a way of us. But in regards to video game stuff,
a D&D group really had enough of us waffling on during the game, so we take this time to waffle to you people instead.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, because normally we waffled. It ends up happening in the middle of a Dungeons and Dragons game, and then the game gets derailed for about 5 minutes, for like 2 minutes, 20 minutes, because whoops.
Someone made a really vague reference to Doctor Who. It doesn't even know what Doctor Who is.
And we had to go. I'm on it. This is the only thing I'm going to say on Doctor Who. Why? Because otherwise we'll be here for the next 3 hours talking about it. Because it's kind of the less we say about it, the better during this session.
Yeah, let's put it this way: my wife and eldest decided one day to make a comment about Doctor Who, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we can start watching that." It's like, oh great. Now at this point, by the way, the new series for Disney had already aired, so it was available for them to watch. And instead of going, oh yes, we can start with the new series that's just started, it's a perfect place to start. I went, great, where do you want to start?
Yeah.
2000s. Do you want to start in the 2000s or do you want to start in the 60s?
Yeah, as a Doctor Who fan, I will fully agree with that one. When asked about watching Doctor Who, someone asked about watching Doctor Who, where do you want to start?
Yeah. At which point both of them went, no, we don't want to watch this at all. Fully understandable.
Hey. No. Bad enemy.
We'll get them involved soon. Once I'm fully situated out there, they will have no choice. It will be on TV. Anyway, on that note,
Oh yeah. But we've talked about movies. We've talked about Predator Badlands, quite good. We've talked about what else we talked about. We've talked about Oblivion a bit. In regards to gaming itself and stuff. So, Tempest Rising came out. There will be the showcase for that is coming out tomorrow. We've moved that up from where it was originally going to come out because that game is just, it was that good. We've played, you'll get to see the first 2 missions on that. But in regards to it, like Tempest Rising came out, I've been playing that a lot. That, genuinely, playing it, I think I just said this during the recording of the video that comes out tomorrow, that I feel like I'm playing an RTS. I feel like I'm playing the RTS game that I've been wanting to play for ages, if you know what I mean.
yes.
I'm playing a game that I'm like, yeah, this is the kind of game I've been wanting to play for ages. Because I don't don't get me wrong, I love StarCraft. StarCraft 1, really fun, better than StarCraft 2, because it just is. StarCraft 2 is good, but it's not as good as StarCraft 1. Never has been. But I love the story of both StarCraft games. I love the entire story. I bought all 3 StarCraft 2s just to play the story. That's what I did when they came out. But Blizzard are really good at stories and they're really good at cutscenes. I'm sad we're never going to get another StarCraft probably because the guys that made the RTSs for Blizzard have split off and become Slipgate Interactive, and they're now Frost Giant Interactive or something, and they're now making Stormgate, which I think the new changes they're making in the next update to the story make Stormgate actually make sense now.
Yeah.
But in regards to it, is Stormgate feels like just another StarCraft game, and I'm like, I don't really want to keep playing. I don't want to play that style of RTS constantly because, no offense to StarCraft, but StarCraft is the kind of game where it feels that you just group up everything and then attack with everything, if that makes sense, constantly. But it's just so fast paced that it's kind of a little boring, if that makes sense. After a while, it just gets a bit boring too quickly. The reason I like Command & Conquer, and the reason both we like the Tiberium series Command & Conquer, the reason I love Tiberium Sun more than I love Red Alert 2, blasphemy, I know. I'm fully aware. But for me, it's the truth. I forgot how I did this dungeon.
With ease last time, I guess.
Yeah.
No, you are right, and but then I definitely want to pick up myself because I've been having the same hankering for that type of game and started playing the Command & Conquer remaster, so I do want to get back to those sort of RTS. I do enjoy them.
Oh, remaster of Command & Conquer is just it's so well done.
Yeah, I do like it. I did try and replay my version of Star Trek Armada 2 from GOG, but it's completely broken. I did re-download it. It's just not working properly at all, unfortunately.
Where are my manners? Must get into my
But
professional
yeah,
tone.
definitely want to give that one a go.
Welcome to Zidillion. I'm the dungeon caretaker, Killaban Nierendil.
But with that being said, I definitely need to make a move.
Zidillion is the ultimate
Yeah. I think, to be fair, we started a bit early today. We're just going to do an hour and a half. We're going to end the podcast in a couple of minutes now. So, do you want to end the podcast now, Jax?
The resonator of judgment.
I beg your pardon? That came out very strange.
I was saying, do you want to end the podcast now today? So, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time as normal. Just give me 1 second. I need to...
Ever since, after all,
Oh, for God's sake.
I'm afraid to put it. I assume.
Go away, mister.
We are ready.
But, anyway. I'm going to say goodbye. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, hopefully. Hopefully, if anything happens.